Welcome to the next episode of Revolutionary Talk. For this wellness truth, we're going to discuss how supplements make up for a bad diet. So you can, make sure to pop your multivitamin and protein shake on the way to McDonald's to get your Big Mac and fries, and it balances out, right? You're good.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does at all. But I don't know. What do you think about this one? You seem torn. You seem conflicted over here.
Where do I start? So, I was there at one point. Like, I can't be like, oh, I've never done that before. But looking back, I'm like, man. Because what I know now, it makes a huge difference from what I knew then. So, more you know, right?
Yeah, I used to be the dude who was like, let's drink our protein shakes 3 times a day. And then it got to a point, though, where I wasn't even eating whole foods anymore. I was more worried about, like, my supplements when I was taking them, that I lost, like, let's eat some freaking food.
Yeah.
And then it was hard to get back into eating food because all that junk has fillers and whatnot. And
yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you said that because so many of the supplements out there do have fillers in it.
Oh,
yes.
God.
There's been even some that have, like, what the studies have shown that it has sawdust in some of them. Even.
I mean, they put so much maltodextrin, citric acid. I bet you can look at every supplement on your counter and it has maltodextrin and citric acid in it.
Oh.
Because that's what they use as the sweeteners, and it just, they're not good for you.
Well, and there's, hearing citric acid, there's like good kind and bad kind of citric acid too, but there's just so many things. So it's like, oh, we think that we're being healthy by taking these supplements, but the sourcing or the ingredients that may be in it aren't actually any benefit to our body and could actually just be going right through it.
And we talked about this earlier too. The supplements could be synthetic as opposed to getting it from the real source, which you said in the last one. Pharmaceutical companies, supplement companies are kind of similar in a gray market. They'll use synthetic everything, and your body wants the real thing rather than synthetic. And half the time, too, supplements as a whole is a gray market. You could put sawdust in a bottle and sell it, and until it kills people, they aren't required to take it off the market or change their label. Nope. So whatever's on your label could be like propaganda to what's actually in it.
Totally. And I think people lose sight of the word itself is supplement. It's supposed to supplement a good diet, fill in the gaps of where you might be lacking in whole foods. Yeah. And, it doesn't make up for all the crap we put in.
No, 100%. That's the extreme. I think people forget that it's a supplement and be created as a primary source of whatever they're seeking because it's easier and it's more instantly gratified.
Well, and then so many people, aside from everything we've just been talking about, going back a few episodes, like pH balancing too. Like your pH of your body has to be in a certain range for your body to be able to assimilate those minerals and those nutrients that are being supplemented, whether it's from food or supplementation, into your body. So,
oh my gosh, you just hit another one too. And then it's like you could take calcium, for instance, or vitamin D and calcium. If you don't have other things or supplements or minerals needed to absorb that one or the pathways, you could just be taking something that isn't absorbing or it's not doing you justice, because calcium without vitamin D causes you to have high levels in your bloodstream and to be really, really, really lethargic and tired, as opposed to like vitamin D kicks in and you're absorbing it all, and then the calcium's out of your bloodstream and you have energy.
Yeah, so what's the point?
Yeah.
And you're paying for that supplement too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
it sells.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
This is America.
This is America.
Realest thing ever said on the podcast.
Hey.
Childish Gambino, y'all.
Yeah.
Not me.
We gotta throw in the edit and have that song come on for 10 seconds. Hey. This is America. Don't catch you supplementing.
Hashtag Suzanne. She would love that part.
Let's go.
Love it. But I just want to be clear, there are some valuable supplements out there. I know Young Living has a lot of different ways they can, products you can take to fill in those gaps. But of course, it starts with a good diet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that through my experience, like the supplementation I have been doing from Young Living's or with Young Living's products, because they are such a high quality, and because they have essential oils in them too that help our body to absorb it, I've noticed that with my energy levels, with everything, like I'm not having, or my body's not craving food. Like just, I used to get bored. Well, I still kind of do sometimes. You get bored and you get hungry. There's something that you want to do when you're bored, and that's kind of my thing sometimes. And I wasn't craving, like I didn't feel like I had to eat something.
Yeah.
And it's just gradually over time, I don't feel like I'm craving food, and having that ability to, when I do choose to eat, like being really intentional with the food that I'm choosing.
For sure.
Versus, I'm hungry, I need to go through the drive-through or go into the gas station and pick up a snack real quick.
No. I feel you 100%.
Yeah.
Back when I was doing supplements, like you never craved eating. Like you're just like, I need that protein. You had such a bad relationship with food. It was.
I mean, over time, like realizing or changing my mindset from eating or living to eat to eating to live.
Yeah, big difference.
Big difference.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, that's solid. Be very intentional with what you eat, and then use supplements to fill anything that you can't get in. As we talked on a previous episode about, like, eating 2,000 calories of clean food can be really hard. And what you choose to eat, you're going to, like, eat to live, live to eat, whichever you choose. But then if you can't get amounts of vitamin A, then take vitamin A, like supplement that in, because maybe the foods that have that aren't really fitting in with the diet or what you choose to eat for that day.
Right.
Or what you're like hungry for.
Right.
So
aside from all the food preparation of trying to eat all those whole foods too, it's just convenience. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of a side note. Good opportunity for a bit of a shameless plug, though. We discussed how a lot of vitamin and supplements out there, they're made in these huge factories, probably tainted a lot of the time. What are some of your go-to Young Living vitamin and supplements that people could get into?
I mean, we talk about all the time, but Ningxia Red, the juice, the whole fruit juice puree, #1. And then the second one that I started with was multigreens, and I've continued to take that over the years also. Multigreens helps you get all those like green vegetable nutrients into your body.
Yes.
So that I've noticed helps me with my energy levels. And in the reference books, they talk about how multigreens could benefit people of different blood types and how many of those capsules to take for your per blood type. So getting fruits, getting the vegetables in, especially like the green ones, it's difficult because we were talking before about how like when I visited Belize, going and seeing the crops harvested, the orange groves for some United States companies. These oranges were on the backs of these trucks, still green. Like they were picked way early, and you're like, I'm looking at those trucks because we're driving through the mountains. I'm like, so how many nutrients is that orange missing because it wasn't given the proper amount of time to fully ripen on the vine?
In the bottle, it's gonna go and it's gonna have sunshine on it, orange, like it was picked ripe and fresh. Yeah,
it's just so you always have to question a lot of things like that. So, but that's why it comes down to, do you the trust in the company? Does that company have integrity behind, and are they transparent with what they're doing too?
Yeah. That's huge. Sure. I think that's often overlooked too, so that's why you can trust Young Living. If you don't yet, do some research, and you probably will. You should.
You should get after it.
All right. Next episode, you must cut out snacks to lose weight. Are you ready for this? Tune in next week. Ooh. Thanks.